it was a great movie, but it seemed like there was resistance to that movie.
Producer I know, successful producer. I will not mention names, but both is better. And it's like, whoa.
The kooky, wacky, completely insulated left-wing view of the world, and they enforce it with an iron fist. And if you're not on that team, you don't get booked. You know, I think he's a very intense, very unusual, eccentric guy. Like, just being around him, you get this.
What if the most controversial film ever made carried a deeper message that only the people it was meant for could truly understand? A simple conversation between Mel Gibson and Joe Rogan unexpectedly sparked something remarkable. The discussion began casually, covering subjects like religion, Hollywood politics, and filmmaking. But then Gibson began showing Rogan the unedited footage from the Passion of the Christ. In an instant, the room fell completely silent. Rogan, clearly shaken, has interviewed presidents, fighters, and whistleblowers before. This moment was different. This wasn't a publicity stunt or a controversy designed for attention. Gibson appeared to be unveiling something the film industry had long tried to hide. And once you learn what critics and audiences missed, your view of the movie might shift dramatically. Many people were reluctant to even consider this story. To understand what Gibson revealed, we have to go back to the beginning. From the start, The Passion of the Christ was never intended to be just another biblical epic. Gibson wasn't interested in flashy visuals or formula-driven storytelling. He wanted something raw and deeply emotional, a film that would grip viewers and force them to confront the meaning of sacrifice. As Gibson explained during the conversation, the central idea was that all of humanity shares responsibility, and that Christ's sacrifice wasn't merely a historical moment, but something with consequences that still affect every person today. He spent years studying the four Gospels, carefully examining every passage describing the final hours of Jesus Christ. But he pushed further than most filmmakers would. Gibson drew from ancient writings and theological works, blending not only the historical events, but also the deeper spiritual conflict behind them, the human suffering and divine purpose hidden within every painful moment. The opening scene immediately reveals the kind of movie this is. We are placed in the Garden of Gethsemane. Darkness slowly surrounds the setting as Jesus kneels in prayer while his closest companions sleep nearby. The vulnerability is overwhelming. Here stands someone both divine and human, sweating drops of blood under an unbearable burden. Then Satan appears, moving through the darkness and whispering doubts. A serpent emerges, but Jesus crushes it beneath his foot, a direct reference to the promise of redemption first mentioned in Genesis. Every frame holds meaning. Every color choice is deliberate. Every line of dialogue carries layers of theological depth for those who watch closely. This wasn't a movie meant for casual viewing. Gibson created a film that demands attention, pulling viewers in and forcing them to wrestle with ideas far bigger than themselves. During his discussion with Rogan, Gibson also revealed something rarely discussed openly, something that helps explain why the film faced such intense resistance before it was even released. He pointed out a pattern within the industry, a quiet but powerful double standard. Movies that explore many religious traditions often receive respectful portrayals and thoughtful treatment. But when Christian stories are involved, the response can be very different. Suspicion, dismissal, and sometimes even open hostility appear.
It was like, you're making this film, and the idea was that we're all responsible for this, that his sacrifice was for all mankind.
Projects like these were frequently labeled outdated, overly heavy, or disconnected from modern audiences. The assumption inside the industry was always that people simply didn't want to watch stories like this anymore. Gibson experienced that resistance directly. Studios that normally would have been eager to support a project from an Oscar-winning director suddenly became distant. Phone calls were ignored. Meetings were quietly canceled. Colleagues who had worked closely with him for years began keeping their distance. The message was clear. This story was unwelcome, and so was the filmmaker determined to tell it. The hesitation wasn't just about financial risk. Many in the industry seemed actively uncomfortable with the subject itself. But Gibson refused to abandon the project. For him, it wasn't just another career opportunity. Because of his Catholic faith, the film carried a deeply personal significance. When traditional funding disappeared, he decided to finance the movie himself. He gathered a team of people who shared his vision and weren't intimidated by criticism. What followed surprised nearly everyone. The Passion of the Christ went on to become one of the highest-grossing R-rated films ever made, proving that millions of viewers were eager for the kind of bold storytelling Hollywood executives believed nobody wanted. The production itself was far from ordinary. In his conversation with Rogan, Gibson described events that many people involved still struggle to explain. Actor Jim Caviezel endured real physical hardship while filming, which added a level of authenticity impossible to fake. The cross he carried weighed nearly 30 pounds. During one take, it caused his shoulder to dislocate completely. While filming the scourging scene, Caviezel was accidentally struck twice by real whips. One blow was so powerful it knocked the air from his lungs and left his hands cut and bruised. The pain he endured wasn't just acting, it was genuine. That realism is visible in every frame of the final film. Then there were the lightning strikes. Assistant director Jan Michelini was reportedly struck by lightning twice during filming. Caviezel himself was also said to have been hit while shooting the crucifixion scene, yet somehow walked away without serious injury.
Christianity is the one religion that you're allowed to disparage.
Yeah.
Christianity is the one religion where people, they'll embrace all these different religions until it comes to Christianity.
What do you think of Jesus?
There's a lot of people that believe that there was this very exceptional human being that existed. What does that mean? Is he the Son of God? Well, are we all? Do we all have that inside of us? Was he an actual person that was the Son of God? I know a lot of Christians, or hardcore Christians, that are some of the nicest people you'll ever meet in your life. So it does work, but you have to submit to this concept that this guy was the child of God who came down to earth, let himself be crucified, came back from the dead, explained a bunch of stuff for people, and then said, see you when I come back.
In biblical symbolism, lightning often represents divine power or judgment, appearing at pivotal moments throughout Scripture. For the crew, the repeated strikes were difficult to ignore. Many began to feel as though something unusual was happening around them, creating an atmosphere where the boundary between ordinary events and something supernatural seemed almost invisible. Some people involved began wondering whether more than just a film production was taking place. Changes also occurred on a personal level. Actor Luca Leonello started the project identifying as an agnostic. By the time filming ended, he described himself as a believer, deeply influenced by months spent portraying betrayal and reflecting on themes of redemption. Meanwhile, Maya Morgenstern was quietly pregnant during production. To some observers, this created a powerful symbolic parallel between life, death, rebirth, and the story unfolding in the film itself. Gibson also spoke about reports of unexpected healings. A child suffering from severe epilepsy reportedly went an entire month without seizures after visiting the set. Others claimed improvements in physical senses. Whether these moments were divine intervention, coincidence, or psychological influence remains open to interpretation, but many cast and crew members left the experience convinced they had participated in something much deeper than ordinary filmmaking. One scene perfectly captures Gibson's artistic vision. After the crucifixion, Jesus' body rests in Mary's arms, recreating Michelangelo's famous sculpture, the Pietà. The image combines sorrow and beauty, devastation and dignity. It portrays both human suffering and divine purpose in a single moment. The symbolism reaches beyond religion and touches universal emotions of grief, love, and hope. When the film finally premiered, reactions were sharply divided. Celebrated critic Roger Ebert awarded it 4 stars, describing it as one of the most powerful and violent films he had ever seen. Ebert admitted that the film helped him understand the scale of Christ's suffering in a way he never had before. Other critics praised the movie's sincerity and artistic ambition, comparing Gibson's direction to some of the great filmmakers known for spiritual storytelling. But controversy also emerged. Before the movie even opened, several religious leaders reviewed the script and expressed concerns that certain portrayals might reinforce harmful historical stereotypes that had contributed to anti-Semitism in the past. These were serious concerns, rooted in centuries of history where similar narratives had sometimes been used to justify persecution. Gibson responded by explaining that his intention was to highlight humanity's shared responsibility for Christ's death rather than blaming any specific group. Still, the debate showed just how complex and sensitive retelling this story can be. Scholars also noted that some scenes were not drawn directly from the Bible, such as the sequence where Judas is tormented by demonic children. Gibson explained that these moments were artistic interpretations meant to express spiritual ideas rather than strict historical detail. Through symbolism and visual storytelling, he tried to explore themes of guilt, redemption, and spiritual conflict. The film walked a narrow line between historical narrative and religious reflection. Audiences arrived with very different expectations, and many left with completely different reactions. Some viewers found the experience deeply moving, while others found it disturbing. Few people walked away feeling neutral. The intense debate only increased curiosity. People who normally avoided religious films felt compelled to watch it for themselves. Churches organized large group screenings. Religious leaders delivered sermons analyzing its message. Media outlets published countless articles discussing its themes. Gibson had created a film that simply could not be ignored. Gibson also revealed that he isn't finished exploring these ideas. In fact, he believes the story is only beginning. During the Rogan interview, he explained that he and screenwriter Randall Wallace have spent 6 to 7 years developing a new film focused on the resurrection. Unlike traditional sequels, this project would not follow a simple timeline. Instead, Gibson described it as a sweeping story examining the cosmic struggle between good and evil. The narrative would stretch from the fall of the angels all the way to the death of the final apostle. It's a concept far larger than a standard sequel. Gibson wants to explore how the resurrection connects every part of human history, both before and after that moment. To build the story, he has been studying ancient texts, theological discussions, and historical research. For Gibson, the Gospels are not myths, but historical testimony. He points to the apostles, who he notes were willing to die rather than deny what they claimed to have witnessed. During the interview, he asked Rogan a simple question: who willingly dies for something they know is false? According to Gibson, that question alone strengthens the claims at the heart of Christianity. The resurrection remains one of the most difficult ideas for many people to accept. A man executed and buried returning from the tomb challenges everything about the natural order. Gibson admitted that for much of his life, he believed these teachings simply because others did. But over time, he began searching for answers himself. That personal journey now shapes the stories he wants to tell. He isn't trying to preach to people who already agree with him. Instead, he hopes both skeptics and believers will confront deeper questions about life, meaning, and what might exist beyond death.
Well, I was struck by lightning on the last shot of the movie, but prior to that, it was shoulder dislocation.
So, what exactly shocked Joe Rogan during that conversation? What caused visible emotion from someone known for remaining calm during intense discussions? It wasn't a single revelation. It was the combined weight of everything Gibson described. The reality that creating the passion of the Christ required Gibson to stand almost entirely alone against an industry that seemed determined to bury the project. The strange events that reportedly occurred during filming, leaving many participants unable to explain what they experienced. And the idea that art created with genuine conviction can influence people's lives in ways commercial entertainment rarely does. The conversation also highlighted another difficult truth. Faith often demands sacrifice. Speaking honestly can risk everything a person has built. Yet some stories are considered important enough to tell regardless of the consequences. These ideas cut through the noise of a cynical era. They reminded Rogan, and the millions who listened, that sincerity still exists in a world dominated by branding and calculated public images. That some artists still create work for reasons beyond profit. That strong belief can still inspire people to challenge enormous obstacles. And sometimes the most controversial stories are exactly the ones society needs to hear the most. Gibson's career represents something increasingly uncommon: a refusal to compromise, a determination not to play it safe, and a rejection of the idea that industry gatekeepers should decide which stories deserve to be told and which should remain silent. The passion of the Christ forces viewers to confront painful realities about suffering, sacrifice, and redemption. It doesn't offer easy answers or comforting reassurance. Instead, it pushes audiences to wrestle with difficult questions about human nature, divine purpose, and the cost of salvation, subjects mainstream entertainment often avoids. Even more than 20 years after its release, the film continues to divide opinion. Some viewers consider it one of the greatest examples of spiritual cinema ever made. Others see it as deeply disturbing. Both reactions contain elements of truth. Powerful art often provokes strong responses because it touches something deep within us, something difficult to ignore or neatly explain. The conversation between Gibson and Rogan revealed a level of honesty rarely seen in celebrity interviews. It showed that behind every controversial work of art lies a human story of struggle, risk, and unwavering dedication to a vision. It also reminded listeners that some aspects of reality may resist simple explanations rooted only in material thinking. And perhaps most importantly, it demonstrated that genuine vulnerability, even from complicated or controversial individuals, still has the power to move people and encourage deeper reflection.
Got all those books, the Bible, you've got the different Gospels and stuff that people are quite familiar with. Half the time, they didn't even need to read the subtitles. They could look at it and know what was going on.
Recently, Mel Gibson, Cat Williams, and Terrence Howard have resurfaced with claims that they say reveal shocking information about Hollywood. According to them, the details they have discussed over the years are now beginning to connect in unexpected ways. These figures have spent decades criticizing the entertainment industry, and many people are now revisiting their earlier statements. Some of the allegations they reference include disturbing claims about exploitation of minors and ritualistic behavior supposedly connected to performance artist Marina Abramovic. Certain online narratives even suggest that celebrities such as Michael Jackson, Whitney Houston, Brisher Y. Gray, and Orlando Brown were somehow connected to these controversial claims. These accusations remain highly debated and are widely disputed. Many observers trace renewed attention to these topics back to 2024 when Cat Williams appeared on the Club Shay Shay podcast. During that interview, he made several statements criticizing powerful figures in the entertainment industry. Since then, online discussions around these ideas have grown rapidly. Supporters of Gibson and Howard argue that the industry has tried to portray them as villains or unstable personalities, when in reality they believe the two actors are simply among the few celebrities willing to speak openly about uncomfortable issues in Hollywood. At the same time, critics point out that both men have controversial histories of their own. Howard has faced accusations related to domestic violence, while Gibson has previously been criticized for offensive remarks that damaged his public reputation. Even so, some people repeat the saying that a broken clock is right twice a day, suggesting that controversial figures may still raise valid points. Howard once made comments claiming that Hollywood pressures certain actors, particularly black male performers, into roles that diminish traditional masculinity. He stated that modern entertainment increasingly promotes androgyny, arguing that many successful male celebrities are encouraged to present themselves in more feminine ways. According to his view, expressions of strength from black men are often portrayed as threatening, while similar traits in white actors are treated differently.
The most disturbing problems in our world today is human, and particularly the trafficking of children. Now, the first step in eradicating this crime is awareness.
At the time Howard made these statements, reactions were sharply divided. Some people agreed with his concerns, while others believed his remarks carried homophobic undertones. Regardless of the criticism, he was not the first person to raise questions about how masculinity is portrayed within the entertainment industry. There was a period when discussions about the portrayal of black men in Hollywood became particularly intense. Some fans dismissed these claims as conspiracy theories, but others pointed out a pattern in certain comedic films where male actors appeared in cross-dressing roles. Examples frequently mentioned include movies like Big Mama's House, White Chicks, The Nutty Professor, and Norbit. In these films, male comedians portrayed female characters as part of the humor. The topic gained even more attention after comedian Dave Chappelle gave a widely discussed interview with Oprah Winfrey. During that conversation, Chappelle claimed that executives at Comedy Central placed intense pressure on him before he decided to walk away from a reported $50 million contract connected to his show. Chappelle suggested that certain creative decisions being pushed on him made him uncomfortable, which ultimately influenced his decision to step away from the deal. His comments sparked widespread debate about creative control and the pressures entertainers sometimes face within the industry.
You lose your man card. That's the only thing I can think of. You lose your damn man card.
What is that? What do you mean by that?
You give up your ability, your right to being a man. A man don't take it, a man gives it. So when you give up that man card, you don't get that back.
Are you saying what I think you're saying?
Now, I'm saying what I'm saying. You don't get that back. You come into this world as a man one time. You give up that right for anything, for fear of being hurt, fear of somebody doing something, for wanting to gain something. When you give up that man card right, you lose some spiritual energy that has always been pushing through. Like if a woman gives up her womanly right. But when you give up your manhood, I've never seen somebody recover from it. That was all the people that went to the puffy parties. That was all the people that did all those things thinking that there was never going to be a consequence for what they were doing. Get punked out and pimped out by some greater desire. You shouldn't have a greater desire than being a man. So
later, during his appearance on Club Shay Shay, Cat Williams also shared his own experiences. He claimed that actor Martin Lawrence once tried to convince him to wear a dress for the film Big Mama's House, even though Williams says he had already made it clear he was not interested in doing that type of role. Williams further suggested that this wasn't the only occasion when he felt pressured into portraying characters in ways he didn't agree with. According to him, similar situations occurred earlier in his career. He referenced an incident around 2002 while working on the film Friday After Next, where he claimed producers wanted him to perform something he considered even more uncomfortable. These claims added to the ongoing conversation about how actors negotiate creative choices and how much control performers truly have over the roles they accept.
I'm a conspiracy theorist to a degree. Like when I connect dots that maybe shouldn't be connected, I don't know. But certain dots, like when I see that they put every black man in the movies in a dress at some point in their career, I'll be connecting them down like, wow, all these brothers gotta wear a dress. This happened to me. And I'm not wearing no dress, man. I'm funnier than a dress. Just give me something funny to say. I don't need to wear no dress to be funny. The director comes, Dave, it really would be great if you wear the dress. Oh gosh, this guy's so difficult. They leave. Now the producers comes, come on, David, would be so great. I mean, and then I started thinking about it. All the comics that I've seen, man, strong brothers, why are they putting us in these dresses?
Some online commentators have gone even further, suggesting that these costume choices might be connected to secret rituals or elite organizations, such as the so-called Illuminati. These theories claim that actors who participate in such roles often go on to achieve greater fame, but may also experience personal struggles later in life. Supporters of these ideas sometimes point to unusual public incidents involving celebrities. For example, comedian Martin Lawrence was once reported running through streets shouting that people were trying to harm him, an event that fueled speculation among conspiracy-minded audiences. More recently, renewed attention to the documents associated with Jeffrey Epstein has intensified discussion around powerful elites and secret networks. Some observers claim that certain emails released in connection with Epstein referenced topics similar to those mentioned by Cat Williams. One exchange reportedly involved Epstein communicating with evolutionary biologist Robert Trivers about research related to gender biology. According to the messages, Epstein expressed interest in scientific ideas about how biological traits might theoretically be influenced at a molecular level. In one response, Trivers reportedly mentioned that interventions affecting hormones were being discussed at earlier stages of development. He noted that if a child showed certain gender-related tendencies, some people might consider hormone-based treatments earlier in life, though he also expressed hesitation about such approaches. Supporters of conspiracy theories connect these conversations to claims made by Cat Williams during discussions on the Joe Rogan Experience, where he hinted that some elites follow belief systems very different from traditional religion.
Proof of the matter is, the Money Mike in the original script got locked in the bathroom. And that's what Ricky Smiley was okay with. Cat Williams had to take the risk in front of the studios and the cast and our powers that be in his very first movie and say respectfully, humbly, guys, if we talk about anything else, I have no credibility and I have no pull. But we talk about comedy, right, where I have all the credibility and all the pull. The problem with Friday After Next is we're trying to make a classic comedy. And this comedy involves, it's never funny, no matter who it happens to or what the circumstances are. If you would allow me to allow us to do this movie without a black man getting raped, I promise you that it will be twice as funny as it would be with him getting. So considering that's the real story, why would you bring up that story? I wrote it. What I'm saying if I did it and I did a good job at it, you can thank me. I was involved.
Right.
I'm not gonna come later on and tell you I never even read the whole script. So how you know what roles? What? What do you mean you never read the? like these guys' whole job is to present something, unfortunately, and I'm just not a presenter. If you ask me a question, I'm just gonna tell you the truth of how.